Meeting of the Personnel Board on June 13th. It is 10 a.m. and I will call this meeting to order. On roll call, I think everyone is here and is on the committee. So I will move to the approval of minutes. I would entertain a motion to accept the meeting minutes as written.
I make a motion.
Thank you. Very good. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed? Minutes passed. All right, very good.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
just a quick update on that, sorry.
Yeah,
I just now
I'm sorry.
got it. For the minutes for May 9th, it shows staff present. Has these two and Carissa Smith listed, but I was at that meeting as well, so we're going to make that.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought that was when you were out of town in Iowa. My apologies. Okay,
No problem.
yes, okay. So we will have meetings adjusted for that. Thank you. I apologize that I didn't. All right, very good. We're going to move on to our public hearings. I'm going to open the public hearing on item number 1, changes to the policies and procedures related to holidays. Staff, if you could just give us just a very brief of what we're doing here, and then we will open it up for discussion.
Sure, let me, I somehow got out of order here. Let me get
No,
to
you're
the-
fine.
Okay. Things on this. A few things on this. First off, it was clarifying, to be very clear, when a holiday falls on a Sunday, it's recognized on the Monday. If it falls on a Saturday, it's recognized on a Friday,
Very good.
to be clear. Also, another item in there is listed for all full-time employees will receive 8 hours of pay at their straight time rate for holidays. To be clear that if you're working a 10-hour schedule, you don't get 10 hours of pay, of holiday pay. Employees required to work on a holiday should also get the time and a half, and actually what it works into that to be is double time and a half if you're working on a holiday, a scheduled holiday. Jump over a couple of the housekeeping items.
And then we also
And then-
had too, that we changed the President's Day, we're just removing that language because that's going to
Sure.
be a floating holiday, so there's no confusion.
It was a
that
little
that's-
redundant. We had a
Yeah.
few people that say, well, it was President's Day / floating holiday, and we decided it is a floating holiday. You can take it on President's Day, but it's not both. So we'll be clear there. The other big one in this list was the calculating of overtime pay. So if you are scheduled to work on a holiday, and that's when the holiday falls, so let's say you work Monday through Friday, and it's Memorial Day. Those hours for that holiday count towards your overtime pay, your overtime calculation. So if you come in on Saturday, those 8 hours count towards your calculation for overtime. However, if you work a Tuesday through Saturday shift, you do get the 8 hours of holiday pay for that Monday, but those 8 hours don't count towards your calculation of overtime pay. And that's how it was already being handled the last number of years. Just wanted to be clear and concise in the PPM.
Very good. Okay, I'll open it up to the public. Is there anyone here who has any questions? Hearing none. And I don't think we have any in chat. Would that be correct? We're seeing? Okay. Very good. Is there any further discussion by the board on this item? Otherwise, I am going to make a motion to recommend this item to the city council for the changes that we have made, the suggested changes we have made. If I could get a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, that motion pass, excuse me, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. That item will move to city council for their consideration. Item number 2, that's closed on that public hearing. We'll open public hearing on item number 2, proposed changes to the leave of absence policy and sick time for probationary employees. Actually, if you could give us a quick overview.
So, let's see. I believe number 2 and number 3 kind of run together here, so we'll look at them separately, is that correct?
I am absolutely fine with doing them together. I think it makes sense since they're both related to sick time. So yeah, we'll be covering 2 and 3.
Okay, well, one of them is related to the extended leave of absence. So there was two ways the city had been handling it. One for leave of absence without pay and one with pay. And we decided, let's combine those. It really doesn't, it should be the same process. If you have leave time, you're going to get paid. If you don't have leave time, you won't get paid. So we tried to combine those two, kind of separate it from FMLA. So FMLA is a whole different ballpark, different world over there. So you don't have to have gone through FMLA to request an extended leave of absence. That's typically the way how it happens, but we wanted to be clear that's not the only way you can get an extended leave of absence. So that kind of clarifies that for Article 4, Section G under FMLA and Section J for extended leave of absence. Nothing changes with the maximum of a year, which is what it was before. And the other item that was kind of confusing for some folks when they would put in for an extended leave of absence. If you're not here, you're not working, and you don't have any leave time that you're being paid for, you're not accruing any leave. So if you take an extended leave of absence with no leave time, there's no way you can continue to accrue leave. So that's just clarifying that.
Sure.
The other one on Article 4 relates to Section F, relates to sick leave. We are proposing, so let me back up. Right now, new city employees, they begin accruing sick leave, vacation leave, and PB immediately. However, they're not allowed to use it for the first 6 months until they come off probation. We don't want to change that for personal business leave, PB, or for vacation. We would like to change that for sick leave. So we're proposing to front load a new employee 48 hours, which is the equivalent of 6 months of sick leave. So when they start, they have 48 hours of sick leave. They can utilize that throughout the first 6 months if they need to. Obviously, people don't know when they're going to get sick. They don't know when their family members are going to get sick. We think this is a benefit for new employees.
I think it's also a benefit for the city as well because it's a health thing.
It
We
is.
don't want
It's-
people
it's-
coming to work sick.
Exactly. It's good public health practice.
Yes.
If someone says, well, I'm really sick, well, you're not going to get paid if you don't come in. But we want you to stay home. They might force themselves to come in and then possibly get everyone else sick. Similarly, if they have a child, they're going to send them to daycare or school, possibly create an outbreak there. So we want to discourage that and promote good public health. The other portion of Article F at the end, number 2, want to be very clear that if you are for uses, very clear for uses of sick leave. We did have some departments that would allow sick leave to be used for doctor's appointments, some departments that were allowing vacation only to be used, or PB to be used for doctor's appointments. We want to be clear that sick leave can be used for doctor's appointments, dentist appointments. It doesn't have to be an immediate going to the ER type of thing. It can be scheduled. So the current verbiage wouldn't really allow for that. It does require that vacation be used, although for the last 20 plus years, many people, myself included, have been using sick leave to go to doctor's appointments. So
Sure.
we want to continue that practice.
Very good. I will ask if there's anyone here who has any comments they'd like to make. Is there anything in the chat that we need to answer? I don't see. Very good. Is there any further discussion by the board members on this item? Very good. I'm going to make a motion to,
If we could just open the public hearing on the second, on
Oh, yes.
number 3 also.
Yes.
Just we open the first one.
yes, thank you. So we have opened 2, as you said. We were going to open number 3 also for this public hearing and vote. So just in case anyone was confused, is there any on items 2 or 3 for comment? Okay. Seeing none, I make a motion to recommend to City Council this policy change be made.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Motion passes. We'll close the public hearing on number 2 and 3. I will open the public hearing on number 4. Mr. Jackson?
This is just to clarify a couple of things here. One is to clarify how terminations work. Make sure that it's approved by the city manager and it's approved by HR before anyone can be terminated from the city. I won't read through all the verbiage on there, but that's essentially what that is. The next big one, really, I won't go through the rest here, but on the 3rd page, if you're following along, under Article 6, Section H for disciplinary action, we're proposing that if someone is under probation or on probation for disciplinary reasons, that they not be allowed to transfer to another department, another position. They have to complete their their disciplinary probation before they can go on to another position. This does not apply to service probation. So if you're a new employee and another opportunity pops up and you're still within your 6 months, of course, we want people to be able to move on up if that happens.
Very good. Okay. Any questions from anyone in the room? Any items in the chat that we need to be aware of? Very good. Seeing none, I will make a motion to recommend this item be moved to the city council for adoption.
I second it.
Very good. Any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. Very good. Motion passes, and I'll close the hearing on number 4. We do not have any new business to come before the board today, so we will now move on to a discussion of scheduling our next meeting. I do know that it was requested that we consider some additional days and times to meet, just for purposes of getting everybody, here when we can at the right time for them. I know that the HR department has been extremely busy over the last month, so I'm not sure we have anything to present at this point. However, what we have asked to do, and they will get to this, is to look at the calendar. We do have to be streamed and then recorded, so there's 2 places that can be done, which is here and the chambers, city council chambers, which is also court during the day. So we'll have to look for a day when it is consistently open for us to be able to be, to be in a room, which also may change eventually when, depending on how things go, moving down to the other building, to the GIHA building. That will address that when that comes along. However, Mike, I think you did want to mention something about the next meeting. Is that correct? Were we thinking, the July meeting, were we thinking that there might not be anything to come before the board on
Oh,
in the
crap,
July
I'm sorry.
meeting? No, you're
I was
fine.
thinking location the whole time.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so at this point, as Chair Dominic mentioned, we are very short-staffed in HR. We're kind of barely staying afloat at the moment, just taking care of the hot button items. So we would request that we skip our July meeting and then reconvene in August, so we actually have some substance to bring to the board to discuss. Prior to that, we will have some information related to CDL drivers and CDL testing that we can send out to the board, that we can probably discuss in August, and some results, basically the numbers that we have done over the last 3 days and what the results of those tests were. So not in the detail about individuals, of course, but just as an aggregate total to where we're at. So
Very good. All right. Is everyone okay with that? Very good. So we will plan to keep at this point, we'll plan to keep our August 2nd Friday, 10 a.m. here in the Utility Center on the calendar. And if in the meantime we can work through some dates, I will reach out to you for dates and times after we've had a chance to put some stuff together regarding where we can meet and what days are available. Does that sound good? Okay. Anything else to come before the board? Hearing none, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Very good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Have a good weekend, everyone. Thank you for attending.